Okay. It's quite empty here. Do you have something to put here? Something nice. Hello. Hello, Farzana. Farzana is my name. Hello to you. Today we are going through some grammar drills, grammar questions from top schools prelim exams so that you can continue practicing for your. Oh, yes, that would be nice. Okay, Ronnie to be staring at them. Okay, I want you all to look and see Ronnie. Maybe that is. Yes, that's nice. Okay, everyone. Today we are gonna go through some grammar questions for the live today. And hello, Stitch 101. Happy Sunday morning, Alyssa. Stitch 101. Farzana is my name. Wear your face. Today I am doing a faceless live, Stitch 101. But you are gonna see my face later at around, what time is it? Three, like the one, the walking one, the 2 o'clock one. So 2 o'clock live, my face will be out there. But today, at this time, I want you to focus on the paper itself. Okay. So we are gonna do our live today with Mochi and Ronnie, while you all be very strong to go through the grammar questions with me. I want to focus on grammar drills today because there's quite a lot of them. A lot of the skills you master and learn from these grammar questions will definitely spill over, and the way you answer your comprehension open-ended, the way you do your editing, your compre close. So today I will go through grammar questions, and then on Tuesday during the 5:30 live, I will then do another round of drills with all of you for comprehension close. Yeah. One more week of school until PSLE. Yes, Alyssa. Oh my God. I feel the same way. So sometimes my students are a bit like, oh my God, teacher. I am actually quite anxious, but at the same time excited for you as well. I'm excited for all of you about, because I mean, examination wise, okay, it's an examination, but definitely this is also the combination of all the efforts and hard work that you have put in throughout the year. Okay, so nonetheless, we shall start our revision, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at, let me reposition my things now, people. Let's look at number one. You must be at the airport by 2 o'clock. I want like 38 for compo. Alyssa, you can. I trust that you can. I hope at this time, Alyssa, for your composition revision, I'm hoping you're taking your time to master a set of compositions that you definitely know by heart. And of course, these sets of compositions, you should be able to accommodate different topics and themes. Okay. So number one, you must be at the airport by 2 o'clock or you blank your flight. So look at your options here. These are all basically will, can, shall, should, or your modal verbs. What do you think should be the answer here? So look at the context carefully. Mother is giving a warning. Okay, she's giving a warning. Therefore, you must be at the airport by 2 o'clock, or what is the word that you use when you want to talk about something that is likely to happen? Stitch 101 is saying number one. Alyssa is also saying number one. What a good start. You are correct. So the answer is indeed number one, which is will. Because will is when you actually talk about future certainty. Hey, how come that tablet not very responsive? What is wrong? Future certainty, that means to say, or consequence now, that means to say you're pretty sure about what's going to happen in case you do or you don't do this. Okay, now cannot be, because can basically is talking about your ability to do something, or its possibility. But when you say can, that doesn't mean that it's certainly going to happen. Okay, so cannot. Now, if you move on to shall, shall is like is more formal and it's often used to express or a command, offer, or determination. Okay, so this one is a bit more formal. More formal and used to express command. You shall stand up, like that, or offer. Shall I give this to you? Okay, and then should, of course, is advice or recommendation. Advice or recommendation, and of course, in this case, a mother is not recommending anything. Mother is pretty certain in her dialogue that if you arrive there, if you arrive there after 2 o'clock, you're definitely gonna miss your flight. Okay, so good job, people. It's number one. Let's move on to number two. Yeah, tomorrow must be able to join live because I will be busy. Ah, you might not be able to join the live, is it? Okay. What are you busy with, Alyssa? Okay, what are you busy with? Is it revision related or what? Yeah. Okay, let's do number two now while waiting for your response. One again, I say, hello, Zinzamzom, welcome. Okay, she's never on time for her appointments, Black She. So, okay, people, this is a very common question tag, correct? But you already know there's two statements here. Very sorry for that. I'm happy this is online. Otherwise, I don't want to be sneezing on you. Okay, question tag. Of course, you have here the statement and then the tag question. But then the question is the statement positive or negative? Okay, you are all saying number one. So you're assuming that this one here is positive. Which word from the statement gave you the clue that you're dealing with the statement that is negative? What is the keyword? Type it in for me quickly, please. Teacher, you okay? I am okay. Stitch 101, alive and thriving. Fish and chips, very good. So I have to unpack all my stuff, you know. Did you just transfer Alyssa to a new place? Okay. Fish and chips, very good. You have definitely given me the keyword. And so do remember this one, the word never makes this negative, okay? And she's, okay, she's is the short for she is, okay? So even if the term here she is, you have the word never, it makes it negative. That's why it's is she. You need a positive version, okay? Good job. So two things here, two reminders, especially if you're dealing with question tag, okay? When you see contractions as in shortcuts, please make sure to break it up into the complete version to avoid confusion, okay? First things first, break up complete any contraction in the sentence, okay? The second thing is look out for keywords that tells you it may be positive or negative. So negative keywords, I think you're already aware. I keep repeating this. When you see the word never, hardly, rarely, those keywords, right? Then that's leaning towards the frequency of time, but to the negative side, that's how you know. I have like 20 boxes to unpack. Wow. You gotta be strong, huh? You gotta be strong, Alyssa. Okay. Okay, number three, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Due to our busy schedule, neither Sally nor I blank the latest musical performance. Okay, definitely first things first. This is testing your subject verb agreement. Okay, you see the. Do you see the BFFs here? Neither and nor. Okay. BFF, yeah, hey, I think you recall that we've been talking about BFF the other day. Drink vitamin C, teacher. Yes, Stitch 101, thank you for the reminder. I shall remember to drink my vitamin C tablet. I forgot actually. Thank you so much. You're such a nice person for the reminder. Okay, singular. So remember when your BFFs are here, normally the common cause of confusion from the students is they are when neither nor and either or is in the picture, they are normally confused which subject do I look at. Is it the first one or the second one that they give me? And of course, um, according to our proximity rule, remember, if you recall what we call this, according to our proximity rule, look at the subject that is closest to the blank. And for this case, it's I, right? And of course, what is the um, helping verb or the auxiliary verb that we use for I? Do I say I has, I have, I having? So I think from there you shall see that the correct answer is neither Sally nor I have watched, right? It's number 3, have watched. Okay, no, very good. Good job. So the answer is what? Number 3, yeah, people of the world. Okay, so do keep that in mind for this BFF kind of question. Okay, all right, moving on to number 4, people. Hello, Rebecca Pearl Gonzal. Thank you for joining the live. Oh, star like the live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, number 4. Oh, I like this setup. It's a bit new for me because I've been facing you all with my face in the previous lives. Hello, Ozil05. Welcome. Okay, I don't have my sound effects. Okay, thank you for liking the live. Okay, number 4, had I blanked that it was her birthday today, I would have brought her a present. Okay, I think this is pretty straightforward. You have the word had, and of course, if you have, keep in mind, has, have, or had is always followed by what form of the verb? It's past participle. Okay, so if the original verb is know, what is the past participle of know? Pretty obviously it's number. Okay, Stitch is saying 3. Tomorrow is my hello Sean. Tomorrow is your paper 2. Sean. Okay, a bit more of sacrifice, Sean. I hope you do well for your paper 2 tomorrow. Okay, Star is also saying 3, also 3. Very good. The past participle is known. Okay, number 3. Now remember your past participle. This is conditional, right? Oh, that is also correct, Alyssa. What conditional number is this? This is conditional. What type? Type. Tell me what conditional type is this. Hello, Jasmine. Welcome to you. Conditional type 3. Very good. That means to say, had I known is basically saying if I knew. Okay, if I had known, if I had known. So I would have bought, if you see this, would have bought, had known. So basically it's using conditional type 3 as if saying if I had studied, if I had studied, I would have passed. So basically, if you look at the pattern, would have passed is close to this. Look at that. And then had studied is also using it for had known, correct? So it's conditional type 3. And the one that I discussed earlier was a very quick, easy version. Like you have the word had. So obviously you're supposed to use a past participle form of the verb, okay? So my suggestion for all of you at home, please make sure you practice your past tense and your past participle. Take, took, taken. Have, like got, get, got, right? Or speak, spoke, spoken, right? So practice your past participle, please. Very good. Going to number 5. Let's go, people. Sure, is that Ronnie? Yes, Cupcake. Ronnie is with us today saying hi to all of you. Hello. And then Mochi also here. Do you see? Mochi is here below. Teacher Mitsuko, is there alive? Is there still alive? Later. Star, yes, there is a live later. 2 o'clock. I will be seeing you again at 2 o'clock. I'll be walking around one of our centers in one of our branches. Maybe I will entertain some of your examination questions for the 2 o'clock live. Okay. And then after that, we will have a 4 p.m. live on reading. Okay. Hello, Log Sect. Welcome to you. Now, okay, which branch? Alyssa, in Marine Parade. Okay. Social media has blank influence on Kenneth as he is not allowed to use his mobile devices freely. Okay. So there's always two things. Okay. The moment you see, right, you know already that you are dealing with quantifiers, correct? Now, the moment you look at, you understand that you're dealing with quantifiers in the question, there's always two things I tell my students. Okay, first things first is to check the context. Okay, understanding the context could then tell you whether the blank is somehow needing something that's high in value or needing something that's low in value. Okay, so from checking the context, you would already know, you could already start canceling some options. After that is once you're done with the context, check the noun being modified so that you know whether you have to decide whether it's countable or uncountable. So let's do first step number 1. Okay, if you look at the context, people, it's basically talking about what is the level of influence that social media have on Kenneth. Here's your context. He is not allowed to use his mobile devices freely. Okay, not allowed to use. So now my question to you is the level of influence high or low? From the context itself, is the level of influence high or low? Okay, give it a try. Tell me whether the level of influence is high or low, depending on the context. If he is not allowed, then therefore the influence must be what? Okay, very good. User 9862132298. Correct. If it's low, then we can already cancel much, right? It cannot be. And some I would also cancel because that would suggest that there is a certain level of influence, right? But we want something that's low. So we're left with few and little, correct? So now is the time for us to do step number 2. Okay, step number 2 would be to check the noun that's being modified. Okay, now what is the noun that's being modified here? We are trying to modify the word influence. Okay, now the question is influence countable or uncountable? Yes, influence. Very good, choco cupcake. Influence is uncountable. And from there, we can already trim down our answer. Little is the quantifier we use for uncountable nouns. Therefore, the answer is number 2. Good job, people. Well done. Okay, now let's move on to number 6, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Now, blank his sister who passed her driving test at the first attempt. City had to retake hers 3 times before passing it. So basically, in this context, we are talking about we are doing a comparison. Okay, we are talking about, okay, you see, city 3 times, sister 1 time. Okay, correct. So we need a conjunction that shows comparison. Okay. Okay. So from there, what do you think is the answer? The rest of you are telling me, teacher, we must use number 4. We must use number 4 in contrast to. You are actually correct. So in contrast to is exactly a conjunction that you use to introduce. Okay. Introduces a comparison. Okay. Now, why can't we use the other conjunctions, teacher? Okay, why despite cannot? Okay. Despite would indicate that something happened in opposition to another fact or condition. Okay. Although we'll need to rephrase it. We will need to rephrase it to make it fit. Apart from also cannot, because apart from would be an exception. An exception or something additional. So I go and say, apart from books, I bought pens and papers, like that. Okay, so for this case, we are doing a comparison between the sister and city. So for that, we need in contrast too. Okay, now let's move on to number 7, people. Let's go. The family of 4 blank thrilled when they were called to receive their lucky draw prize on stage. Okay, I used my instinct for this. I actually don't know why other options cannot. Okay, Choco Cupcake, your instincts were correct. So firstly, number 1, when unsure, follow your instincts. But of course, number 2, that's why we're doing this live for you. So at least you understand. That's why I'm explaining it. So at least you have a better understanding of why you ended up answering that way. Okay? Okay, Ozo. Okay. Number 7, give me your answer. Stitch 101 says number 4. Okay. Now, this is quite a tricky question, people. So this is basically testing your subject verb agreement. Okay. Therefore, it means if the subject is singular, the verb is singular. If the subject is plural, the verb is plural. So what is the subject here? I think it would be pretty obvious to say that the subject is a family of 4. Okay. Now, for a lot of you, you might be thinking, okay, teacher, this is singular because we are using a collective noun. Okay. Let's just indicate it here. Collective noun is the singular, teacher. Can I use is, are, was, were? So here's one reminder I want to give all of you when it comes to collective. Why did I say collection noun? Collective. Okay. I need to give you a reminder when it comes to collective noun. Okay. Now, do keep in mind that collective noun can be singular or plural sometimes, okay, depending on how it's being communicated. Like, are we talking about it? Is that when what is being communicated is that the members or the components of the group are acting individually rather than a unit. So if it's acting as a unit, can singular. But if you're talking about members, okay, acting individually, then we go for plural. Now, you might be wondering, teacher, then how do I know if they are acting individually or they're acting as a unit? Sometimes they will make it obvious to you by the verbs and that they use in a sentence, okay, or by the pronouns that they use in a sentence. So if you notice, they use they here, they use their here. So they are basically talking about the individual people. They're talking about family of 4 as plural. Okay, so in this case, we need the plural answer. Okay, so we can cancel is, we can cancel was. And to decide whether this is singular or plural, you also basically see it here. Thrilled is past tense, cold is past tense. Therefore, we're looking for the past tense here. Past tense plural, it's number 4. Okay. Okay, now, correct. So the good thing about this, okay, here's a good news about this kind of question. Normally, if they want to get you to answer the plural form, they are always supposed to give you some clues in the sentence. But that's the reason why I always tell my students, read the entire question, especially when they give you more than one sentence. Because sometimes they will put the blank here and then they will add one more sentence. In that additional sentence, then that's where you see whether they're referring to the group as singular or they're referring to the group as plural. So sometimes when the question has more than one sentence, read the entire question, even if the second sentence doesn't bear the blank. Okay? Okay, let's move on to number 8, people. The little boy objected to blank in an open sea as he was worried about the big waves. Okay. Objected to what? If you objected to something, we are basically needing a gerund here. We need a noun, basically, a verb that functions as a noun. Okay, verb that functions as a noun. So what do you think is the answer? What do you think is the answer? Let's go. Two. Okay. It's pretty obvious, right? A gerund is ing, right? The only question is it number 2 or is it number 3? Okay. So basically the complete gerund here is actually number 2, people. Very good. Okay, so it's number 2. Good job. Well done. Okay. Moving on to number 9. Let's go. The prefect closed the door. Okay. Blank her to have a private conversation with the principal. Okay. So let's go to number 1 is on, with, behind, around. Okay, so I think you have to think about the logistics here. You have to imagine this actually happening. Okay, so the prefect actually went inside the principal's office to speak with the principal. So the moment you enter, basically if you step in, the door would be behind you. So that means to say she closed the door behind her. Okay, right. So this is the door, right? And then this is the room, right? So then when she enters here, she would be closing the door from behind her, right? Okay, now last question for set number 1. Okay, now let's go to this one here, number 10, people. Having helped her mother blank the vegetables, Sarah set the table for dinner. What type of question is this? What you think? This is a very commonly tested question. We've dealt quite a lot of this type in the past few live that we did, especially for the one where I did like the grammar drill. Okay, Stitch, you want to say washes, is it? Okay. Okay. What else? Choco cupcake goes for number 1. Now, if you see here, let me give you a clue. What kind of question are we dealing with? There's helped. Then there's her mother. Then there's another verb here. What type of question is this? Does this look familiar to you? Cupcake thinks it's number 1, but you're not sure, right? If you see, this is once again a verb, noun, verb question. Okay? And for this verb, noun, verb question, that basically tells you that the second verb is a what? Choco cupcake. The second verb is a base form. Base form. Or if it's a perception verb, most of the time you may need to use ing. For this case, we need to use the base form, which is number 1. Yay! And you just braved the first set of questions today. Okay, I changed to 1. Okay, thank you, Stitch 101. Good reconsideration of your answer. So be particular with this. It's a very commonly tested type of question in grammar. And then students tend to use this pattern as well when they write their own composition or essay. So when you write, be also mindful of the verb that you need to use for the second verb. Okay, congratulations. We shall move on to the next one. Henry Park, let's go. Now, set number 2, are you all ready? He. Ronnie is saying, hello people, thank you so much for continuing to join us today. Okay, moving on to number 1 for set number 2. Yay! Set 2. Now, Mrs. Tan gave blank student in her class a reward for winning the Class of the Year award in the kindness campaign. Okay, obviously you are dealing with quantifiers again. Okay, and then let's talk about the noun being modified here, which is a student. Okay, Student countable or uncountable? Of course, this one, obviously, you can count students. Mm-hmm. So now what's the context here? The context here is she wanted to give every single student in her class, correct? So step one, I told you earlier, check the context. And then step two, check the noun being modified. So I did step two first, I'm sorry. If we check the context now, people of the world, if we check the context now, if we understand that Mrs. Tan actually wants to give, okay, she wants to give every student, correct? Correct, as a reward for winning the campaign. And then step number two is to check the noun being modified. We already did here. That means to say, given the context and the noun, I think it's pretty obvious that we're doing number two here each. That will mean to say we are able to stick to the context, which is every student is being given, and number two each is also used for countable. Okay. Let's go. Hello. Food and bags. This is for primary 6 PSLE. Nonetheless, this should still be helpful for you if you're still in school practicing for your examinations, or you're already out of school and you still want to continue to polish your English skills. Let's move on to number two. The hikers used a compass to find blank way through the thick jungle. Okay, now this is pretty obvious. We're talking about the hikers, right? So if you're talking about the hikers, which one is the right pronoun for it? Okay, I meant 2024 or 2023 paper. Food and bags. I am actually, because I have prepared different sets of paper. This one specifically is actually 2022. Zim zam zom. Okay, zim zam zom. This is you're taking number 4. Okay, pretty obviously, hikers is plural. It should be number 4. That was an easy question, no? Okay, good. Number 3. Let's move on then. You're welcome, food and bags. Blank are the boys who had bullied me, said Ben, pointing to some boys at the canteen. So these are demonstrative pronouns. Basically, you're talking about whether it's singular or plural, whether it's near or far. So Ben is the one talking and he's pointing, right? That basically means that if you're pointing to someone, is it near or far? If he had to point, that we can perhaps agree that it may not be near, correct? And he's pointing at many boys. Plural. So it's far and it's plural. That basically means you need what number? Okay, number. Correct. Thank you. It's number 4. So for demonstrative pronouns, please be careful. You need to check 2 things. Firstly, whether you are referring to a singular or a plural noun. Number 2, whether you are near or far. Look for some clues. Okay. Number 4, let's go. When we arrived, we noticed that everyone blanked anxiously for the famous actress to appear on stage. Okay. Now, you are being tested of the, what do you call this? Tense and subject-verb agreement. So it's a very common pair of question. They check whether you know if you are supposed to use singular or plural, and they also like to check whether you know you should be using present tense, past tense, present perfect, past perfect, and so on. So in this case, I needed to check for both things. Okay. So first things first, when we arrived, okay, that basically means to say we're basically looking at something that's already past. Okay. And then you look at the verb, the word, the noun, everyone. Okay. Is everyone singular or plural? Can you tell me? Let me give you a set of words. Indefinite pronouns like everyone, everybody, anyone, someone. no one. Okay, these are indefinite pronouns. Every single one of them is always used as what? Singular. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So your indefinite pronouns are always singular. Anyone, someone, no one, anybody, somebody, they're all singular. Okay, so if it's past tense and singular, we are basically number 3. Good job. Now, number 5, let's go. If you blank now blank on time, the plane will take off. This one is so easy because this is conditional. What conditional type are we talking about? Type 1, type 2, or type 3? Remember that 3 times I've always told you, people. Zim zam zom. Is that your answer, or you're telling me you're using conditional type 1? So, okay, EPP 10 ban says 1, Stitch 101 Stitch says 1, Zim Zam Zom also says 1. Okay, it will take off. This one we are using conditional type 1. Remember the sentence I taught you for then they will use the future for the second statement. For this case, they use the future. Therefore, we need the present one here. And if it's you, if you do not arrive, okay, so the answer is number 1. You are correct. Yay! Good job, good job, good job. So conditional type 1. Okay, let's move on to number 6. Let's go. Hello to those of you who joined the live. Please remember to follow us if you haven't yet, so you can get notified for our upcoming live sessions prepared for you. Okay, the stranger asked Lily if she blanked the way to the nearest shopping mall. Okay, basically what you have to think about here is that you are reporting a question. Like think about your direct speech, the reported speech. So if let's say the actual question is, do you know the way to the nearest shopping mall? So if you report that, basically, do you know the way to the nearest shopping mall? If you report that, it would then turn into the stranger asked Lily if she what the way. Okay, the direct speech is, do you know the way to the nearest shopping mall? Of course, you go 1/10 backward, right? When you direct speech, the reported speech, go 1/10 backward. This is present, we go 1/10 backward. We go past. So it's number 1. My handwriting very ugly, sorry. 1. Okay, good job, people. Let's move on to number 7. While Mother blank in her room, we slipped quietly to the kitchen to have some snacks. Okay. There's a few keywords here that you can actually take note of to immediately identify what tense are you dealing with here. Okay. First things first is while. Okay. While you use this when when an action is ongoing, right? While the other action is happening, correct? So this is continuous. Past continuous. You need the ing. We slipped. That's how I know it's also past continuous. Okay, it's past and continuous. Therefore, if it's past continuous, what do you think is the right answer? Number. Okay, Zim Zam Zom. Heart also says, hello Heart, welcome to you. You are correct. And Stitch 101, the answer is number 3. Okay, because this is past continuous. Okay, sleep here cannot, because sleep would then mean you're just saying base form now. Both of these are present. Then has been sleeping is present perfect. Present perfect continuous. And you use this is if the action started started in the past, plus it's an ongoing thing. So in this case, we want to focus on past continuous is because we want to talk about an ongoing action in the past. Okay. Now number 8, let's go. He blank be at the office by now, but he is not at his workstation. Oh my God. Okay, there is an expectation here. Okay, there is an expectation here. And an obligation here that you want to talk about. Hello, Sue. Sue answer is number 4. So if you want to talk about expectation and obligation, which one should you use? Okay, Stitch 101 agrees. Sue also is number 4. Give me one more person to give me the answer before I proceed. Ipipi Temban is number 4. Good job. Okay, so you're talking about him having the obligation to be at the office already. You usually use should for when you want to talk about an expectation. Okay, you should wear this during the, for example, you should wear this in school, or you should be eating this kind of food. There is a level of expectation or obligation in the context of the sentence. Okay, so that's why it has to be should. Okay, so will cannot, because obviously will, you use it for future action or certainty. That means it's definitely going to happen. Could, again, we talked about this, it's just about a possibility. And then might, it is possibility but less certainty. Okay, possibility again as well. Okay, so the best one is number 4. Good job, people. Number 9, let's go. The animals will not attack blank they are provoked. Okay, pretty obviously there is one single condition. Okay, there's this thing, and this will only change when one condition is met. Okay, and for that you use what number? Number 9, people, have a look and give me your answer. Sue says number 3. Who else? Okay, number 3. So you are all okay. Cass, hello Cass, welcome to you. You're also saying number 3. You are correct. Good job. Okay, last number for this set. Well done, people. Let's go to number 10. Just keep blanket, and you will find it easier solving these types of questions after a while. Okay, so we are dealing with a phrasal verb here that pairs with the word keep. No, this is not a phrasal verb. This is an idiom. Okay. What 3 words? What word do you use to complete this phrase? To tell someone, okay, to continue working on something despite difficulties. Okay. You choose, I choose 5. What do you mean you choose 5? There's no 5. 1, I mean, number 2, melody, G. Also number 1. Okay, so what's the idiom that we're looking for here? The line when you want to tell someone to continue, to persist despite the difficulties is keep at it. I'll give you the meaning, yeah? So now you learn the phrase. When you tell someone to keep at it, that basically means to persist or continue to do something, to work on something despite the difficulties. Okay, so keep at it, everyone. The examinations and the revisions are not easy, but keep at it. You will soon experience the benefits of all your hard work. Okay, good job, ladies and gentlemen. Keep at it. And we are moving on to our last set for today before we go for a quick lunch break. So I need you all to be strong and do one more set for me, please. Let's try and do this set from Methodist Girls School. Okay, people. Let's give this a try. Number 1. Okay. Now, some sugar, blank, required to make a dessert taste better. Okay. So we're basically talking about subject-verb agreement. Um, subject-verb agreement plus tense. Okay. So first things first. What tense are we looking at here? Okay. We need present because it's in a dialogue. Okay. Number 2 is some sugar. Okay. Is it sugar is uncountable, remember? And when you're normally for uncountable nouns, you use singular. So for sing, if you know it's singular, then we can cancel were and are. If we know it's present tense, we can cancel was. So your answer is correct. It's number 1. Okay, very good, people. Very good. Let's proceed to number 2, please. Asman recounted how his father would watch him play soccer in the school field every Saturday. Okay. Now, do you see a pattern here? Can you tell me? Hello, Susie. Welcome to you, Susie. Hello, hello, hello. So everyone, do you see a pattern here? What is this commonly tested question called? Can you try to guess, please? I'll give you a clue. What does this tell you? Zim Zam Zam, I'm happy you indicated that as well. That should help you check the tense. So everyone, if you are paying attention to the pattern and the clue I'm giving you, this is the commonly tested verb, noun, verb pattern, correct? And at the same time, when something is habitual, that means to say you need to use present tense. Present tense. So if it's present, we can cancel played and playing. And of course, for verb, noun, verb, the second verb is base form. So you are down with number 1, play. Watch him play. Okay? Clear, everyone? Lonset, correct. Sue, correct. Well done. Let's move on to number 3. If we blank, it was Sally's birthday yesterday, we would have sent her a card. Okay? Okay. Conditional. What type is this? Can you tell me conditional type what? Commonly tested question. You should already know your 3 types of conditional by now. Okay. Okay. Are you all saying number 3 as your answer, or are you telling me it's conditional type 3? Can you clarify? So you're all telling me your answer, is it? Can you all, who can tell me what conditional type is this? Conditional type, is this conditional type 1, type 2, or type 3? Remember, oh yeah, I keep repeating this, people. You're very close to the examination. You should already master this by now, yeah? Conditional type what? 3rd conditional choco cupcake, very good. Now, let me just review this one quickly. So type 1 is very easy because type 1 is if statement is present tense, if I can. The second statement is future, okay? Now, when the if statement is in past tense, type 2 is if I could. It's in past tense, then you just use I would, okay? And then type 3 will then be if I had studied. You start seeing the pattern, right? I would have passed. So from here you will see if statement is a blank, but you see that it would have sent. That already tells you that we're dealing with type 3. Correct? Because it has would have plus past participle. Basically, what we're missing then is had plus past participle. And obviously, that would be number 3. Correct? So I need you to memorize these 3 lines because this is a commonly tested examination question. Okay? So if I can, that means to say type 1 is the things that are highly likely to happen. Right? So if I study now, I will pass the examination later. Okay? Type 2 is for something that are very much like wishes. Like, if I could, I would. If I could own a car, I would definitely want that. Okay? Okay, so past tense, then you use would. Not would have, but just would. Okay? Just would. If I were you, that one also type 2. If I were you, I would not ask for it right up. Okay, then type 3 is more like a regret. There's nothing you can do about it anymore, so it's always phrased like a regret type of sentence. If I had studied, I would have passed, but it's already done, so there's nothing you can do anymore. Okay, same thing here. All right, number 4, people, let's go. Suling together with her parents blank in the park every weekend. This one is easy. You have a double comma here, and what tells you when you have a double comma, whatever is in between is a what? Extra. Yeah, this is extra info about the subject. So the main subject, do not forget the main subject is still suling. Okay, suling here is singular, right? Only one suling, right? So this actually tests your subject verb agreement plus your tense as well. So how do we deal with the tense, people of the world? It says every weekend. And remember, when it's habitual, what is the tense that you use for something that's habitual? What tense do we use for something that's habitual? You're all saying number 2. That means to say, if the action is habitual, it has to be what? Present tense. Very good. So we have both present and singular. Therefore, we have number 2 as the answer. Good job, people. Okay. Now, moving on to number 5. Jane took up the job offer just as I said she should. Blank, Janessa asked. Okay. So hold on. I hope you didn't see this. Okay. Now, your main verb here is took up. Okay. Now, what do you think is the right what do you think is the right answer here? Give it a try. This is a question tag. Remember, very common type of grammar question. Black giraffe of each joined. Hello, welcome to you. Now, everyone, it says here, Jane took up the job. Okay, does this tell you that it's positive? Yes, it's positive. Okay, and it's in past tense, positive. It's in past tense, that means she did take up the job. So if she did take up the job, we need the negative version here, which is what number? Number 1, didn't she? Well done, people. Let's go. Let's finish the rest. I am supposed to finish in 5 minutes. So can you be strong, please, and help me finish the other 5 numbers in the next 5 minutes? Let's go. Now, I blank traveling around the world and will continue to travel as long as my schedule allows me to. Okay, so we're basically being tested on tense here. What do you think is the answer? So I am looking for a specific tense that talks about you. It talks about you starting something in the past and that you're continuing it until now. Okay. and possibly in the future also. Number three, number three, number three. Very good. Have enjoyed. Okay. In the world and will continue to do so. That means to say, have enjoyed, present, and possibly in the future. You're doing it in the present and you are expressing to do it possibly also in the future. Okay, good job. Number 7. Won't Mrs. Cole be pleased when she blanked that we were both selected in the audition for the talent show? When she asked Nuru. Okay, won't she be pleased when she what? You're asking for a future event that will happen, yeah? When you ask for a future event that will happen, what tense do you use? Number, hold on. The answer here is actually, won't she be pleased? Okay. Now, Wendy is asking about a future event that will happen. Now, when you're asking about a future event that will happen in a dependent clause, you actually use present tense, which is number 1. Won't she be pleased when she hears that we were both selected? So it's true that you were already selected. This is past. But you're asking about a future event. When you are asking about a future event, you have to use the present tense. Okay? Okay, people? Move on to number 8. There was no malice in her. Blank, she was very kind. Okay? So I am looking for a conjunction here that talks about contradiction. I need a conjunction that will contradict what was previously mentioned. Okay. Normally you use this kind of conjunction if you want to contradict what was previously said. What is that? You're all saying number 1. Here's my problem with number 1. Okay. Although can only be used within the same sentence. Okay? It can be used to introduce a subordinate clause, not a complete clause. If you notice, this is a semicolon, therefore, this is not a subordinate clause. This is a complete sentence. Cannot use although. Now, so what do you think is the right answer? Okay, so let me give you the meaning of all the other 3 and I need you to reconsider your answer, okay? So when you use otherwise, okay, you indicate a different situation. A different situation or result. If something didn't happen, Now, when you go for in contrast, you want to compare. In contrast is when you want to compare 2 different things. And then when you go for on the contrary, you want to introduce a statement, okay, that opposes what was previously said. Therefore, and pretty obviously, our answer is number 4, on the contrary. So this one is very straightforward. You always use on the contrary if you want to oppose what was previously said. You want to oppose or you want to contradict what was previously said. Okay? That is a very basic usage of on the contrary. Okay. Number 9, last 2 numbers, people. Let's go. Blank effort has gone into making this event a success. All thanks to the committed team. Okay. So the event is context, yeah. Number one is context. And number two is the noun being modified. Okay? Contextually, if it was a success, was the amount of effort high or low? Right, correct? So that means to say contextually, the effort must be high, correct? So we cannot use less. We cannot use a bit of. Contextually cannot, because the event was a success. Now the second one is the noun being modified, which is effort. Is effort countable or uncountable? Cannot count effort, right? It's uncountable. Therefore, the correct answer is number 4, a lot of. Many is for countable, correct? Please do it that way. Check the context to see if the quantifier needed is high or low. Then check the modified noun to see if it's countable or uncountable. Last number, everyone. Strong people of the world, let's go. Kumar was exempted blank PE lessons for a week because he had sprained his ankle. So it's the, what's the right preposition to pair exempted with? Okay. When you're exempted blank something, that means to say you're not required to participate or you are excluded. What do you think is the right preposition to pair it with? Zim Zam Zom, you're saying exempted from, is it? I see. Long Sect also agrees. So when you are exempted from something, you are actually excluded. You are correct. So the answer is correct, number 4. Well done. Okay, very good, everyone. You've done 3 sets with me today. You are very strong. Thank you for being with me today. I will be back later at 2 o'clock to go around Marine Parade with me. Go around Marine Parade with me. Hold on now. So that I can see you later. So 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. I shall be with you again. At 2 o'clock, it's me. 4 o'clock, it's going to be a reading session with another host. So please be with us. But nonetheless, if you haven't followed us yet, please do so. I'll see you later at 2 o'clock. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a good lunch. Okay.